Hello guys and welcome back to Geeks of the Realm. Now this is a painting tutorial video that I'm going to do and show you how I'm painting my space wolves. Now I did convert a space wolf in one of my previous videos, the Sergeant Jovan, and I actually did video me painting him. Okay, the only problem is the footage for some reason doesn't want to work. I don't know why. I haven't a clue. So I've still got the footage, but I don't know how to get it sorted. I'll get it fixed. It won't upload onto my Welcome back guys to Geeks of the Realm. In this video we're going to do a painting tutorial of how I'm going to paint my space wolves from now on. Okay, I did say in a couple of previous videos about how I paint my space wolves, or how I have painted them. I've now changed to this method because I like the way this looks a lot better. Okay, so I did used to say that I spray my miniatures with space wolf or grey, wolf grey, that's the one, wolf grey from Army Painter, and I spray it and then I'll do it all there, so I've got the main colour on there. But I don't like that because it just looks a little bit too nice and a bit too sort of perfect for it, and I don't want them to be perfect. I want them to be battle worn. Okay, so I'm going to use a different technique. I'm going to show you how I do it. Now I did do a video a few videos ago on kit bashing Sergeant Jovan, okay, the store anniversary model, and I made it and I painted it and I videoed me painting it. The only problem is the footage doesn't work. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not loading up onto the system I'm using for editing my videos, but it's just not working. So I've made it. So I thought I'd show you the actual finished product. I put a picture in this video at the end, okay, so you know that I've actually done it, and I did a painting tutorial of this guy. I'm going to show you how I painted him, okay, and how I painted that style, alright? And I'm going to do this from now on across the whole of my army that I get that I haven't sprayed blue already, which is something I did ages ago and I don't know why I did it, but I did. So let's get cracking, shall we? Right, I'm going to try it from this angle, see how this looks. So the first thing I do then, okay, when I get my models, is I'm going to spray it. Okay, so I'm going to prime it basically, and I prime it with mechanicus standard grey. Okay, now I've just shown you on this one what I've done because I've actually sprayed these and washed them already, so I'm going to go through different sections, and I will hopefully get finished is my hellblaster squad. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to show you this. So I've sprayed this guy with mechanicus standard grey. Okay, once he's sprayed with mechanicus standard grey, we then wash him. Now we can wash them with either Nuln Oil if you want it darker recesses, or Agrax Earth. I vary depending on what I fancy, because I don't want them all to be exactly the same. I just want them all to have a bit of difference to them. For instance, this guy here was done with Nuln Oil. Okay, so he's got a little bit darker recesses than, let's say, this guy here. Okay, you can't tell on the battle board, but just the slight variations. I quite like it. But I'm going to do all my guys with Agrax Earth today. Okay, so give it a shake. Agrax Earth. Again, you can choose what brush you use. I'm going to use a large shade brush, and the reason why I'm using a large shade brush is because you can get a lot on all over, and then afterwards you can start taking stuff off you don't want. Okay, so again, get straight from the pot and walk it straight on all over him. Absolutely all over. Yep. You don't want to have any part of him not washed, and the reason for that is if you leave certain parts not washed, you are going to have a line. Now it's alright if you're painting over it, but if you forget to paint over that part, or there's a part that you're thinking, no, I'm going to leave, you'll have a line there to paint. So literally cover the whole entire model. Okay, and then if there's bits you can't get into, but most of the time you can, okay, then you can always drop down to a medium shade brush, or even a small shade brush if you wanted. But this large one has done its job for me. Okay, so there we go, that's that done. Okay, once you've done washing your miniature, make sure you clean your brush Okay, and I'd like to dry it as well a little bit to make sure that nothing gets stuck in there on an old towel. I can use paper towels as well, but that's it. So there you go, okay? The entire miniature there is washed, so I'm going to leave that to dry now, okay? Put it to one side to dry. When it's dry, it'll look something like this, okay? So this has been washed and they're dried now. I've got a lot of them drying, okay? And I've all them dry. I've made some smash captains, some more smash captains. I did an ancient or a Great Company banner. Okay, again, so these are just on various stages of painting. So I'm going to go show you what I'm doing next. Okay, so once it's dry, we then need to now do its power armor. Okay, and get the power armor this color with all this different shading on there as well. And how I do that? Very, very simple. Wolf grey. Get some wolf grey. Give it a grey. Wolf grey. There we go. Give it a good shake. Okay. And then get a dry brush. Now I'm going to get two dry brushes here. Okay, one that's been used for ages and has opened up quite a lot, so I can do the sort of everything I need to. And then this one here, which is quite newish one, I can pick out certain smaller details inside it. Wolf grey, very simple. Put a bit in the pot. Don't need loads. I will need this time some paper. Okay, some paper towels just to get rid of most of the bits on. Okay, once we've got that, we get our big brush and the paint. Make sure you get it all into the bristles like so. Okay, and then we're going to wipe off as much on. So now you can see on the hand you're getting a little bit on. And all we're going to do is dry brush. You can do it small circle motions or up and down, as however you want. We want to try and get it on all of the minis flat surfaces. And what happens when you dry brush, okay, like this, you'll see, okay, that you are missing the recesses, okay, and you were getting it on the flat surfaces. You were getting it quite the colour you want. This is the Space Wolf grey, so you're getting it quite the colour you want. And on the recess parts, it's fading into a darker colour. Okay, so that's all we do, and literally, guys, that's all I'm going to do on the whole model. Okay, his backpack. The only things I'm going to leave out is obviously I'm going to leave out the gun, because we don't need to dry brush the gun because the gun's not going to be blue, and his head. But everything else is going to get coated. All right. So I'm going to do the rest of all my unit there, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so I timed myself there, and it took me 10 minutes to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 models. Okay, and that is the power armor, the actual base coat of the power armor, the blue, done. We don't need to shade it or anything like that, because when you dry brush it, you've got the shades already in there, and I really like the way they look. Okay, I really like the way they look. So next thing we need to do now then is do the yellow parts. Okay, so I'm going to look at putting the yellow shoulder pad on and the yellow knee pad. Okay, because all my hellblasters are going to have yellow, so I'm making like a company of the yellow and red bits. So I'm going to start with the yellow. To do the yellow, we're going to use Avalanche Sunset. Okay, and as before, make sure you give it a good shake. Get a little bit out onto your palette, like so. Some water. Okay, make sure you get some water on there. That's it. That's it. And then wash your brush again. Okay, when I always do that, I always go a little bit further than I need to. So, what we do now is we just mark it out. Now we're going to have to use multiple coats on this, because this yellow goes through the blue. You'll see the blue coming through and it looks green. Okay, yellow and blue make green, obviously, and we don't want that, so we're going to have to put multiple coats on. Now to get this nice solid colour, okay, on there, I had to use, I think it was 4 layers. Okay, but don't worry, by the time you've done one and you do the rest of them, you go back to the first one and it'll be dry enough for you to put another layer on. So get some on your brush, and don't worry about going onto the thingy parts, the sort of edges of the shoulder panel, because I'm going to be doing them gold, giving it a bit of extra detail. Okay, so don't worry about it if it looks like it's very thin and go through and you can see brush lines. Don't worry if you keep doing it nice and thin. Okay, like so. And then what I tend to do is once I've done coated it, I then get my brush and I go one direction. Just helps out with the brush strokes, that's all. Okay, so there's that part, and then we do the knee pad. Okay, sometimes the knee pad might need an extra brush. I've got a little small, this is a 0 from Rosemary & Co. Make sure I wet it. Okay, your brushes always need to be a bit wet. And then I just go around like that, nice circle first. Just go around the edges. Once the edges have done, then you can actually then block out the colour. So, okay, so you can see I've just blocked out the edges, yeah, and I've left the middle part. And all I'll do is just colour in the middle part, and again go in one direction, yeah. And you'll see, you can see the blue through that, or the green through that now. Don't worry, let that dry, and we'll do another coat, and we'll keep doing that on all of them. So I'm going to finish them all. I'm going to go back and do about 3 coats on them, and then we'll come back to moving on to the next colour. Right, well there you go. It took me 3 coats, and we've got a nice solid yellow. Okay, so 3 thin coats, very nice. No brush marks in there. If you keep it thin, you won't get any brush marks in. Okay, but it takes a little bit longer to dry. But that's all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yellows done. Now I am doing my smash captains, okay, but they're going to obviously be different because I need to do cloaks and stuff. So this video is literally just going to be focusing in on me hellblasters. Okay, right, so the next thing we need to do then, okay, is we've done the yellow, we now need to do the red. Okay, the red side. Now I'm doing red. You can do whatever colour you want. You can put white in there, you can put black in there, but my hellblasters are going to be yellow and red. Okay, and I'm going to use other colours for different regiments and stuff. Alright, so the red that I'm going to use is Mephiston red. Okay, so again, as before, give it a good shake, make sure it's all mixed. Take a little bit out, like so, a little bit more, and then water, and mix it in. Okay, there we go. And once we've mixed it in, clean my brush, make sure it's nice and clean, and then we move on. Now with this one, because it's red and the pigments are a lot, seems to be a lot more pigments in this one, so it doesn't go see-through like the yellow one. You won't need as much coats on there. So, but it is going to be nice and thin, okay, and we are going to do a multiple coat. So I reckon we're going to have 2 coats here. Okay, 1 coat looks good, yeah, there's no blue showing through. You can just see a little bit of brush strokes, but that's okay because we can do that next thinner part. Okay, there we go, like so. Alright, so I'm going to crack on and do the rest of them, and it's only took me so far to do all the power armour, the yellows, and this 1 red. It's took me about 20 minutes, okay, for that. 20 minutes to do 9, not too bad. Alright, so again, same with this one, crack on. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack on with the rest of the 9, and then once they're all done with the second coat as well, we'll then move on to the next colour. Right, so that is the red sorted. I'm just waiting for it to dry because I did it a little bit too thin. But that's 2 coats, and you know, very good. There's nothing coming through, there's no brush strokes. Okay, so we're just waiting for them to dry now. While we're waiting for them to dry, we can move on to the next colour. Now the next colour is he's got a belt. Okay, so we're going to use Doombull Brown, okay, for the belt. Now you can use any colour. You know, I like to use the brown, so between Doombull Brown and Mornfang Brown, pretty good. If you fancy doing a bit of, I don't know, Steel Legion Drab to make it a lighter, that's up to you. Okay, but I like to put Doombull Brown. Okay, I like that. So this time I'm going to use the small brush. Okay, and we're going to I won't use that. I'll use the, so this time we're moving to a size 1. So it's not as small as the 0, but you get a bit more pigment on it. Okay, make sure you wet it. Okay, and then get your brown. And all I'm going to do here is the belt. It doesn't matter if you go onto the belt buckle, but be careful. There we go. But be careful about going onto the power armor. Okay, so now we are being a little bit careful now. So I think this is the way, this part now is going to be the one where it takes a little bit longer. Okay, take your time, make sure you do it correctly. If you do make a mistake though and go onto the blue power armor, don't worry. All you've got to do is get the wolf grey. Okay, like I've got on there a bit. You can use your finger to smudge it and get some wolf grey on there as well. Okay, so because this needs a little bit of detail, I concentrate on it. I'm going to crack on and do the rest of them, and I'm going to show you what it looks like after. Okay, so the belts are all done. Okay, you see. Now what we're going to do is going to move on, and we're going to do the let's do the black. Okay, now the black I'm going to use, and what I'm doing it for is I'm not going to bother with the gun at the moment. It's just the power armor. So what I'm going to do is use the black to go between the plates of the power armor. He's got some of these bits there, so I'm going to use the black. Now instead of using normal black, which is good enough, and you can do that and you can highlight it and stuff, I actually quite like using the contrast paint, the Black Templar. It's one of the best contrast paints out there, I found. Okay, I only like a few of them. I don't use them that often, but I like it because it flows very nice and very easy into these into the little crevices. Okay, and you don't technically need to highlight them, but sometimes I do, depending on what it looks like after. So I get some straight from the pot. Okay, and make sure my brush is very thin, the end's very thin. Okay, and then I'm just going to paint just in the cracks of the power armor. Okay, so around his backside area, top of his legs, just like that. Okay, all the way up here. You know, almost goes straight to his belt, almost. Come around, make sure you get a nice line. Okay, like so. Yeah, and then do this side. So with this contrast paint, it's quite nice. You know, you get your highlights and stuff. So, all right, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off doing these, and then I'm going to show you once I've done that, and I'll do the knees. I'll show you. All right, guys. Right. So all the black's done now. Okay. So we got the black. Got pretty much most of the armor done now. So the only thing left for the armor is the gold trimming and the gold. So let's get that out of the way. And the gold we're going to use is, give it a shake, Retributor armor. Okay, give it a shake. Again, take it out, put it onto me palette. Okay, bit of water. Now because it's a metallic paint, you don't want lots of water on this one. Okay, it gets too runny and it's not that great. Okay, so you just want it a little bit of water. Okay, and when we do that, we're going to get some on our brush, like so. Okay, and bits that we're going to paint here are the eagle wings skull thing on his chest, on his chest plate. We are going to then do around the shoulder pads, like so. Okay, on both sides. Yep. And then if there's any gems anywhere, I'm going to go around the gems as well. Okay, that's it. So take your time. This is the sort of the longest part now, doing all these little details. But I've probably been painting now for about an hour and a half. About that. About an hour and a half, and like I say, I've pretty much done 9. Actually, I actually did 10, 11, 12, 13, because I'm actually now working on to the other ones that I sort of kind of did. 13 models. And up to this stage where the armor's pretty much done, it is literally just the skin, hair and gun. Alright, so it's actually a quite quick process, and it gives you a really nice looking better than average tabletop standard. Okay, tabletop standard is just a few coats of paint and that's it. But I think these go a little bit more than tabletop. Okay, with all the little extra details we do, but it's really quick and really nice. Okay, if you're wanting to win awards, then you can always highlight the power armor further up. You know, get a bit of Fenrisian grey, you know, and highlight it up that way. But like I say, I'm not going for winning awards or anything like that. I just want to get a nicely painted Space Wolf army that I can play on table. Alright guys, right, so the gold is all done. Okay, looking pretty good now. Okay, the next thing we need to do is his belt buckle. His belt buckle is going to be silver. I'm going to paint that silver. Okay, and then his hair, or his head, I'm going to paint Bugman's Glow. So I'm going to do two at once this time, just to speed things up, because you can actually do things quite quickly. So get a bit of lead belcher. Okay, that's what I'm using for his belt buckle, so a bit of lead belcher. So we're just going to paint that. Make sure you get all the way around, and again, don't be scared. If you do get it on his power armor or onto something else, don't worry. You can always paint it over with the original colour you put on. Okay? Like so. Okay? So there's that done. And so the next one, I'm going to use is Bugman's Glow. Okay, so again, a little bit of Bugman's Glow. Bit of water. Okay? And then we're just going to cake it now. I'm not bothered about getting it on the hair. Okay, because we can sort that out when we actually paint the hair. We just want to literally put it right round the whole of the face, getting rid of all where the skin is, like so. Okay. Not worried about if I get it on these little top knot there, because I can sort that out. Okay, I'm going to do it underneath his chin, underneath his neck. There we go. Right. There we go. And basically, we're just going to get it like this gentleman here. So let's do his. You can actually see on here. I forgot to do his gold. So what I'll have to do is, once I finish this part, I have to put the gold part on this sergeant, or the battle leader, the pack leader. Okay, so there you go, you can see the gold on him, and you can see there. Okay, so that's all we're going to do. Get the gold on there so you can actually see the difference. Looking pretty good. Okay, right, so I'll just finish off doing the rest of these, and then that is pretty much the armour done. It's just basically moving on to his skin, his hair, and the guns. Guns won't take too long either. So again, it's probably been now about 2 hours, and 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer, just because I'm taking my little time on these little bits here. Yeah, so just some bits there, and then I'll do the side parts. So yeah, it's probably take just maybe, you know, maybe 2 hours 10 minutes or something like that. Okay, and that is a lot of these painting almost. Right, so I'll see you in a sec, guys. Right, so that's the Bugman's Glow done on all of the miniatures. Okay, as well as obviously silver and all the rest of it. So we're pretty much sort of almost there, really. All we've got to do is his hair, okay, and his gun, and then we can sort of worry about highlighting after that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to now paint his gun. Okay, now to paint the guns, I'm going to do that. There's lots of different ways to it. I'm going to do something that's basically very quick. So I've not just got these, I've got probably about 6,000 points worth to paint. So I'm going to do this very simple and very quick, okay, and effective. I'm going to paint the whole gun black. Once it's all painted black, I'm then going to dry brush it with a mixture of Eshin Grey and a bit of lead belcher, okay, to try and make a little bit metallic certain things. Once I've done that, I'm then going to see about doing a bit of blue or red hellblaster sort of plasma-y glow, okay. But I don't just use the simple black of Abaddon, okay, or Abaddon black, because I want to mix it, because this is quite thick, and if I put water in it, it does tend to sort of run a little bit. So what I do is I get my Abaddon black, okay, my dollop of Abaddon black, stick it into there, okay, clean my brush off, okay. I'm then going to use some black ink, okay, and the black ink from the game ink, I'm just put a couple of drops in, okay, and it kind of does the same as the water, but it makes it very nice black and it very runny, and you can see, but it nicely, it just coats very nice and smooth, okay. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to cover the whole gun, okay. Careful for the fingers, because obviously we've painted that, we don't want that to get any paint on it, and his hands, and obviously the other parts. So that's all we're going to do, okay. I'm going to do that. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour a couple of the hair in as well, because I want some of the hair to be black. Alright, so once that's done, okay, we'll move on. So I'm just going to crack on and do the rest of these guns, and then I'll come back to you. Alright guys, so as you can see, the guns now are all blacked, okay. Obviously it's a different black to the ones that, the black that we've used for the undergarment basically, which is good, okay, that's what we wanted to look at. So what I'm going to do is, we're kind of just going to fully wait now until they're dry, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Reichland Flesh Shade, okay, over the Bugman's Glow on all of them, and I did a little bit of a sculpt of like a bear pelt, or sorry, bear pelt, a wolf pelt on the pack leader, okay, on his green stuff, that I've done that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint that Xandri Dust, and I'm going to paint this top part with what am I going to paint it? Doombull Brown. So I'm put Doombull Brown on top here, Xandri Dust here, and wash the faces. By that time, okay, these guns should be dry, and then I'll be able to move on to the next thing. So Reichland Flesh Shade, where are you? There you are. Okay, so Reichland Flesh Shade, give it a good mix, okay, and I'm going to switch these around because I'm forever making them tip over. So okay, there we go. So I'm just using a normal, not even a shade brush, this is just a normal character brush. Is it a character? No, regiment brush from Army Painter. So get some on there, and I'm just going to go right over everything. If it's starting to pool, yeah, just get rid of some off your paintbrush, and then use your paintbrush to dab it up. Okay, like that. So I'm going to do that with all of them. Okay, and then, like I say, I'm going to put the Xandri Dust on the wolf pelt and Bugman's Glow. No, Doombull Brown, I'll get it right. Doombull Brown, guys. Okay, so I'll just do that, and when that's done, I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the guns. Okay. Right, well, as you can see, the sergeant, oh sorry, I keep saying the sergeant, the pack leader, okay, and you can see I've done the Xandri Dust, and I've done Doombull Brown on his shoulder pad there, okay, and obviously he's got Reichland Flesh Shade on his face. So now what we're going to do, all the guns are 90% dry, okay, so I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do with these guns, because it's looking pretty cool as it is with just the black guns, but I want them to be a bit more metallic and stuff. So take me lead belcher, I take me Eshin Grey, okay, and I use my lead belcher first, okay, and I need a dry brush. Right, so I take me lead belcher first, okay, because it's the main colour I want it to be, okay, and then Eshin Grey I take just a little bit, just like that. Okay, and add the water and I mix them together, okay? And then have a look. It's a little bit more Eshen grey. You want it to be like a metallic grey, okay? I don't want it to be dark, but metallic grey. Okay, just like so. Right, so once we've got that, we then just dry brush them, okay? So we take our metallic grey, work it into the dry brush, okay? And all we're going to do is lightly just go flick it backwards and forwards, and you'll see you won't get a massive shine, okay? And that's the idea, is you don't want a massive shine like you would do with normal lead belcher, okay? If you just did it on your own, you get like a mute Eshen grey with a little bit of a metallic look to it, okay? Just a dry brush on everything. Now it's up to you how you do yours. You can actually put you know, different colours on there, make it gold or bronze or brass or whatever, but I want these to be done quick, okay? So there you go. So the guns, you can see there's a little bit of a shine to it. Not much shine, it's a bit of a dull shine, okay? But that's the type of gun I'm wanting, okay? So I'm going to do that now on all of these guns, okay? And once that's done, I can then move on to doing the glow. Okay, so that's the guns all dry brushed, okay? So now I'm going to do the glow. To do the glow, I'm going to use some Corax white just in the parts where the glow is going to come from, the power source. Okay, get a bit of Corax white and water it down. Okay, and all we're going to do is we're going to just paint that inside the glow where we want it to glow, because we're going to put a wash in there in a minute. Okay, now just be careful when you do this. You don't want to get it on all the gun. You don't even have to put it on all of this there we go, on all of the inside. You just have to do that little bit like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that on all of them, okay, just like so, and then we're going to look at doing another wash on them all. Alright guys? Right, so what I've done now guys is I have put in the white, okay, as you can see, onto the guns, okay, onto this part of the guns, and now I need it to glow. So how I'm going to make it glow is I'm going to make myself a little wash. I'm going to use Baharoth blue, okay, I'm going to get a little bit of that, yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of that in here, okay, just a little bit, like that. I'm going to make myself now my wash. And the ingredient, you can use water if you wish or whatever, but I'm going to use this flow improver, okay? And the reason why I'm going to use this flow improver, because the pigments with this should, a bit more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little drops. And the pigments, what happens here is I won't lose any of the pigment part, or it won't break it down, okay? But what I will have is a very runny blue colour. Now what I'm going to do with this, okay, is once it's all mixed in like so, I'm going to get my gun and I'm going to place it all over the gun. Now it doesn't matter if it goes onto the metal part of the gun. In fact, I advise it to go on there a little bit. And the reason for that is it's glowing effect. You want it to glow. I'm going to put a few different coats of this on, okay? So straight over like so. Okay, and you can see I've actually put it onto the metal part of the gun, not just the white, and it sort of helps with the glowing effect. Okay, so like so, like so. You can see how quickly it's taken me to do this. Okay, nice little glow, and you can see so it's not really having been sort of took too long to make these, have they? I've painted these, okay, not too long at all. The only things really I've got to do now is once these are done, I'll do another. I need to put a little wash on certain parts of it. So the gold, for instance, that's going to get an Agrax Earth wash. Not just that, I'm going to go around the edges of the shoulder patch, shoulder patch. That's it, the shoulder pad. Okay, I'm going to put in the recesses, I'm going to put a bit of Agrax Earth shade just so it looks like they've got a bit more detail in. Okay, and then once I've done that, I'll be able to do the face. The face will be all dry then. Once the face is dry, I'll be able to highlight the face. Okay. And once that face is highlighted, I'll be able to do the hair. And then that is pretty much done. So it's going to take about 10-15 minutes to these to dry. Okay. So I'm going to leave that now. Okay. For them, I'm not going to go anywhere near the gun. I'm not going to do too much with it. I'm just going to go to me pack leader. I'm going to put an Agrax Earth wash over his not Agrax Earth, Seraphim Sepia wash over the wolf pelt. Okay, just while I'm waiting for one to dry, I might as well do the other and wait for that to dry at the same time. Okay, so just put enough on over it, including the Doombull brown bits as well. Okay, I want to make sure that gets a wash on, and then take some off with your brush if you need to, and just make sure it coats everything. There we go. Right, so yeah, as you can see, you're probably now talking 2.5 hours to paint a unit of 10 hellblasters. Yeah. To a very good tabletop standard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. Yeah, to a very good tabletop standard. There's a few bits left to do. Probably half an hour left, actual painting time at least. And then it's just basing, and then just waiting for it. But as you can see, it looks pretty cool. Right. So as you can see, we've got the glow effect now. Okay, or a little bit of a glow effect, but we're going to make that a little bit further stand out, shall we say. So we're going to use a bit of Stormhost Silver. Okay, get a bit of that. Make sure you shake it so the pixels go. And then what we're going to do is going to add a little bit of the Baharoth blue, just a tiny bit, just to sort of change the colour, but with a little bit of water. And again, what we're trying to do here is make a shiny, there we go, shiny blue. Okay, and all we're going to do here, okay, is we're going to use a small brush, and we're going to put a little bit just in the top part, this top line, like that. Okay, like that, just at the top. Okay, and it really gives the effect of the glow. Okay, just a nice line. The reason why we put the blue there, obviously, is to sort of help with the transition from the wash of Baharoth blue to now the shiny part. Okay, so once these are done, I'll come back to you, and then we'll move on to the next little bit, and then we'll be almost finished. Alright guys. Right guys, so there you go. There's the guns all done. That's it. Okay, all done. You can do a bit more details if you want, pick out some brass parts and gold parts, but like I say, these are just going to be tabletop standard, but a little bit better than tabletop standard. Very nice, look nice on the battlefield. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move into painting the skin. Okay, so what we do is we're going to use some Acadian flesh tone now. Okay, so we give that a shake, grab some Acadian flesh tone, grab some water, make sure you get a bit more water in there, that's it, mix it together, clean my brush, and we're going to use a nice thin pointed brush, okay, like so. And all we're going to do is pick out the details, okay, so all we're going to do is pick out the nose, like so, under the eye, the sort of cheekbone. I'm going to leave all the recesses, so where you see the shade congregating the most, that's what we're going to do his lip, do his bridge of his eye, okay, like so, do his forehead. I'm leaving a line around where his hair would be, kind of like a natural transition basically into his hairline. Okay, come all the way down the side of his head, don't forget to do his cheek, and then his chin. Leave the little dimple in his chin. Just take your time doing these, okay? Don't want to rush it. Want it to really look like nice, okay? Like so. Over the side of his head. Okay. Over here, his cheek, don't forget the ears. Okay. There we have it. Okay. That's his skin done. So we'll do that for the rest of them, and then I'll come back to you. Alright? Right, guys. So there you go. Skin all done. We're now pretty much towards the end of the painting tutorial now. Okay, so the only things now I need to do is do the hair, and then some of the markings on the shoulder pads, and obviously do the base. So, hair, obviously, I'm going to do lots of different colour hairs, okay? So I'm going to go for some orange hair, I'm going to do some black hair, I'm going to do some white hair, okay? Orange hair, I'm going to start off with a base coat of Jacaro orange. Black hair, obviously bad and black. And white hair, I start off with a base coat of Celestra grey, okay? So as always, shake it up. Get some into your pot, bit of water, and change my brush for this one to a nice, this will be a number 1, or even a 0, if you want to do that. So, bit of orange on your brush. Don't forget to do the beards. So this is just the base coat, okay? Once this is done, we'll give it a wash, pick out all of the details again, and then we'll move into Troll Slayer orange for this one. Okay, so make sure you pick them all out. So that's the orange head, or the orange hair one. Okay, make sure you get all details just like that. The sideburns. That's it. And then I'm not worried about the top knot he's got there. I'll colour that in later on. Okay. So this one. So when you move to big parts like this, you can actually use a bigger brush. Okay. Just to get a bit more orange on there. There we go. You may need a couple of coats. So be prepared to do a couple of thin coats. Okay. Like so. There we go. Okay. So that is the orange one done. That's orange hair. Okay. We'll do a black one. Again, everything's basically is a repeat of before. So, bit of water, and then just pick out the detail and go around there. Use a smaller brush just to go around under his tash, just so I don't mess up his skin that I've already painted. So just take your time. And these I'm not even going to bother putting eyes in these, okay, because these are just troops. When I do characters, depending on the size of the character and, you know, the paint job I want to do on the character, it depends if I put eyes in or not. Because sometimes it's no point in putting eyes, okay. If you want to put eyes, you can do, they're just a bit fiddly, it takes a long time. There we go. There we go. There's the black. And then exactly the same for the Celestra grey. Okay. Yeah. I'll do Celestra grey on. We'll do it on this gentleman here. We want white hair on him. So he's got a funky looking beard. Or a tash. It's like one of the officers I used to know in the army. There we go. And then his hair. Now the reason why we don't go straight into white on this is because you can't really highlight up from white. You can, however, highlight light grey. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to highlight it with white. So the recesses are darker. There we go. Okay, and there's the white haired guy. Excellent. Right, I'm just going to pick some different people, paint them in all them different colours, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so the base coat of the hair is all done. So we've got 3 white, 4 black and 4 orange. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to move into the wash stage. So I'm going to use Agrax Earthshade. Okay, I've got some left in there. Yes, I have. Agrax Earthshade. Give it a good shake. And I'm going to do all of the gold now. Okay, as well as the hair for the orange. But straight from the pot. And we're going to do Agrax Earth straight over the chest plate. And then we're going to do in the recesses. So I'm using a small brush here. In the recess, right in the edge of the shoulder pad. Nice and neatly. Okay. Like so. Okay. There we go. Okay. The recess shade now in there, and we'll do the same for the red. Okay. Now it is quite easy to do it on the red, easier than the yellow because it's not as visible if you do make a mistake, but if you do, just go over it with the main colour you've just done. So for the red, Mephiston Red, for the yellow, Avalanche Sunset. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'll do that, and then with the hair, okay, I'll do this guy here so you can actually see. So I'm doing all of the breastplate, the gold of the breastplate, shall I say. Okay, you don't want it to pool, like so. Okay, and then we're going to go around the shoulder pad, give it a recess shade. There we go. It's quite easy doing the recess shades on the shoulder pads. You get right close and you just let the water, the consistency of the shade do its job, really. Okay. We'll do around here. There we go. And there we go. Okay. And then for the hair, just do it again. Only Agrax Earth for the hair of the orange geezers. Okay. Let's get rid of some of that. Not too much on. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do that with all of the orange haired guys, as well as every space wolf, all the gold stuff. Okay. Okay. So all of the recess shades and the hairs are all washed now. Okay, so I'll just wait for them to dry. In the meantime, there's a few things we need to wash next, just to give it a bit of depth, and that is all of the belts, okay, and the buckle. So, and also the hair on the white guys. We're going to do that with Nuln Oil. Okay, so Nuln Oil, and we're just going to put a little bit of Nuln Oil over the silver parts. Okay, all around the brown belt. Okay, and then the hair, we're just going to Nuln Oil all over it like that. Picking out the hair, the fine hair details here, the lines of the hair. Okay, there we go, like so. Okay, right, so that is all of the packs washed, or the belts washed and stuff. Now what we're going to do is highlight all the hair. Okay, so the hair, with the black, I'm going to highlight with Eshin Grey. Okay, a bit of Eshin Grey on me palette, bit of water. I'm going to use my thin brush here. Okay, I'm going to do like almost like a little dry brush, just at the edges. Okay, and what happens here is it just picks out all the lines of the hair. Okay, so that's all I'm doing with this guy. And you'll see, I'll actually keep the video rolling this time, how quickly you can actually dry brush or highlight these hair. Okay, there's that one. That's 2 of them done. And then this one. That's it. Okay, and then there's this one. I'll just draw lines on this one because it's just lines going down. There we go. Okay, that's all that one done. To highlight the orange, I'm going to use Troll Slayer Orange. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, and with Troll Slayer Orange, I'm going to get a dry brush. There it goes. Dry brush. Get some on there. Work it in. Not much working it in though. And then I'm just going to just do a dry brush. Be careful I don't go on the face. Basically paying attention to the top parts. Okay, there's that one. Do the Mohican. Keep my brush flat. Going across. Like so. And then this guy here. More on there. Still a bit wet, but that's okay because we're going to actually do a wet blending. This guy. That'll do. There we go. Okay. That's the oranges. Now make sure you clean the pixels off that one. There we go. Now the white, you can use Praxeti white, which is the dry brush for the white. Okay. Only need a little bit of this. That's it. Work it in. And then just dry brush across. Now, a bit more. Now the thing with this is you don't want loads of white. You don't want the hair to be full on white. Okay, you want it to be like the part of it to be highlighted. So you want the front part to be hit most, like so, and just gently stroke it across the top of it. That's it. And what we'll do is we'll come back to his tash soon, but just the hairs. So just so it's like that. Okay. And then with the hair bits, make sure that's dry. And again, just flick off. That's it. Just make sure you get the ends. That's it. Now this one, just make sure it's dry. This is speed painting at its best. Right, clean that. And then what we do is we get back to our white, which I'm going to use some Corax white with a thin brush just to do the tashes. Okay, and what I do with the tashes and the beards is I just put little lines starting from the face going down, leaving the top part that touches the face grey. Okay. Like so. Yep, and just keep doing that. Lines down. Like I said, this is supposed to be a grey white beady tash things. So we're going for just like so. There we go. And there we go. They are now painted. So now it's up to you how you base your miniatures and what sort of insignias you give. Now I'm going to keep these very simple. Okay, so I'm going to use black, and I'm going to use the black that I like to use, which is the ink, which I see somewhere. There it is. So the black ink, okay, mixed with some Abaddon black, okay, because I think it gives a better coverage. Okay, so Abaddon black in there, a couple of squirts of the ink. Okay, mix it together. I just think it gives a nice black. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm going to use my holder this time, because we need to keep our arms nice and straight when we're doing patterns. Okay, so the pattern I'm going to do with this one, okay, these are my hellblasters. I'm going to do like a half. Look at sort of, there's halfway of this shoulder paladin, shoulder thing. Okay, I'm going to come over to the, kind of like 1 o'clock. I'm just going to put one big diagonal line coming straight down. Okay, like so. Take our time, make sure we get this nice and neat. Okay, so one big black line. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour half of the paladin, half of this shoulder paladin, I can't even remember what they're called now, shoulder pad, we'll call it just a shoulder pad. I'll colour half of it in black. Okay, so one half's red, one half's black, and that'll be my insignia for my hellblasters. Okay, and once I've done that, I'll show you how I base mine, and then you guys can base them however you like. Right, we are finally here. Okay, we are finally now, after about 2 and 3 hours, maybe 3 hours painting this lot, we are now up to basing. Okay, there's pack marking, as you can see, just waiting for it to dry, and now we're just going to base it. Now I've based mine using this ground texture Vallejo grey sand. Okay, now how I do this, very simple. Take the lid off, take that part off, and I get myself a spatula-y thing just to basically push it around the base of it. Okay, and all I do is I get some on there, and then I just plonk it onto the biggest part. Okay, like so. Then what I do is I use the small section of the sculpting tool, and I just push it around the base. Okay, push it around the base. Doesn't matter if it gets too onto the feet, because it's supposed to be like snowy. This is, I'm going to be dry brushing it later like snow. I would have used Valhalla Blizzard, but it's so expensive, and the amount I'll need for my entire army is just going to cost a fortune. This stuff, you know, massive you get, was it 200 milliliters? Okay, and it costs me about 7 quid, 8 quid, something like that, I think. Okay, so in the interest of keeping the money down, as you know, wargaming, you know, people think it's a kid's stuff, but if it's a kid's stuff, how can kids afford it? Because it's bloody expensive hobby. Yeah, each paint pot's about £2 something, and then if you get the bigger ones, they go to like £4 something, and the technical paints, and oh, yeah, it's expensive. So try and keep the money down when you can. So you just do that all the way around. Doesn't matter if I get it over the edge of the base, because I'll be cleaning that up. Okay, like so. Okay, and then how I clean my base, use my finger, go all the way around, clearing it off, all the way around like that. Okay, and there you go. And now all I'll do is wait for that to dry, paint the bottom brown, and I'll be off. So I'll finish doing all the rest. What's 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, yep, 9 of these, because 10 hellblasters, I should have known that. So I'll finish off doing the 9 ones. By that time, it won't be dry, but I'll be able to put the brown around it, take some pictures, and talk to you at the end, because that is it. Right, there we have it. The entire squad is fully finished now. As you can see, they're just dry and the bases are drying. Okay, but we have got a full, there's the battle leader. We've got a full 10-man squad of hellblasters, all painted to a good tabletop standard. Okay, took me probably about 3.5 hours to paint. About that, I didn't fully time myself, but you know, it's very quick. The slowest point is painting the slow detail of the gold and going around doing the faces and stuff. You know, it's so tedious doing that. Actually doing the power armor, getting the blue, the red and the yellow on it, doesn't take that long at all. Doing the guns the way I do them, you know, paint them all black, dry brush a bit of Eshin grey and some lead belcher, just so you get a sort of like a metallic grey instead of a silver on there with a bit of a glow. I quite like the way that looks. Okay, and then obviously with this guy here, I actually green stuffed his wolf pelt on his shoulder, just to give it a little bit more of a oomph thing. But no, I'm quite happy. I quite like it. I mean, I could, if I wanted to, put a bit of detail on his arm, you know, maybe like a bit of red or whatever. But tabletop standard, done. That is 10 hellblasters finished. And you know what? I quite enjoy them. I love the blue colour that I've got there. When I spray them now, I'm a bit, I should have done it grey and then dry brushed it. But bigger ones, it does what it does. It's still the same colour, it's just these look a bit more pristine. I'll tell you what, let's get one of these down here. So, where are we? Let's get, there he is. Right. So these guys are done in the same way that's with a spray, and you can see how pristine they look. Okay. So we've got Arjac Rockfist. That bloody hammer keeps falling off. If anybody knows how to stick a hammer on properly in this kit without it falling off, I've tried pinning it. It's a pain, but there we go. So they're kind of pristine looking. Okay, and it's all right. That was my first part with it, but I prefer the battle look of them. So from now on, all my troops are going to get done like this that haven't sprayed, which is not many to be fair. It's all the Primera stuff that's not been sprayed. But there we go. Right, I'm going to take some pictures and you can see them a little bit better close up. And yeah, this guy here, obviously I'll put him in it as well, who actually did do the full paint on their paint job, but it didn't work. So I'll put him in it just so you can see the conversion that I've done. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and there'll be a lot more content of converting space wolves. I have got down here what have I got? I've got a Primaris Impulsor. Okay, so I've got that to kit bash. I've got a Space Marine Primaris Lieutenant and 4 boss armour. And obviously I'm going to be getting a lot more stuff because I want thousands of points. You know, especially with the new Space Marines coming out with the bikes, and for the 9th edition apparently. Obviously wait for that to drop, but Space Wolves all the way, baby. Yeah. Alright, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave any comments down below, and I will answer all comments that get asked, and yeah, we'll go from there. Right, thanks very much. Take care.